Welcome into Bobcat Live here on KFJB-TV, streaming on Facebook, Twitter, 1230KFJB.com, as well as YouTube. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I'm Brandon Lewis, Dylan Doze, as well as head coach Adam Goodvin with us. We'll talk a lot of football here tonight. We'll also talk a little bit about girls cross country later in Bobcat Live. So looking forward to that. Busy week and a half here or so for the girls cross country team. Bobcat football, of course, it seems like forever ago, but you add in just one day, Coach, and it makes it feel like it's been a while since you played, coming off a 48-0 win over Cedar Rapids Jefferson last Thursday.
Yeah, you're right. It does feel like it was a while ago, and we're eager to get back out there.
Yeah. And, of course, your opponent is Des Moines North this coming Friday night. You can watch the game coming up tomorrow night right here on KFJB-TV. 6 o'clock is the pregame show. 7 o'clock is kickoff. It is senior night, and always a special time of the year to recognize a pretty good-sized class. Would you say 22? Is that what you have on your senior class this year?
Yep, 22 seniors.
And a very special class, too.
Yeah.
So we've kind of talked a little bit.
Yeah, great group of kids. We're gonna definitely miss them moving forward.
And, of course, big talk this time of year is playoff positioning. And in Class 5A, obviously, a couple of years ago, things changed with how everything is seeded, and top 16 teams get in Class 5A. Marshalltown Bobcats last week were at number 26. They moved up this week to 25 in the RPI rankings. So it is interesting. You guys still find yourself behind Des Moines Roosevelt, who you beat a couple weeks ago, which is hard to believe. If you don't really know or understand RPI, I think there's a lot of people who still
join the club.
Don't.
Yeah.
But it basically takes into a percentage factor of three different components. One is your schedule, one is your opponent's schedule, and one is your opponent's schedule. So then it calculates all that together and spits out a number. For example, last week, Linn-Mar was at 17, and they moved up to 10, I think it was, this past week. They jumped 7 spots, and they played a 1-6 team and won. Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing that, that kind of stuff in the RPI just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But anyway, Coach, I guess when you kind of look at the RPI, I guess what kind of lens are you looking at it through and kind of looking at as you kind of approach the week 9 here?
Yeah, if you want to get into more depth of the whole RPI discussion, Coach C's your guy. He's been crunching numbers here for the past 3 weeks, and there's a lot of good to it. I mean, I get it, and I get why we're using it, but there's a lot of things within it that are out of our control. You know, we can only say so much, or we have a little pull on who we play, but we obviously have no control on how those teams perform, and obviously how their opponents perform. So. It is what it is. It's frustrating to see, Roosevelt ahead of us. We beat them head-to-head, and we also have a better record, but their opponents have a better record. That's what's keeping them ahead of us.
The crazy part about it is that, for example, some teams I'm noticing, like, for example, you look at yours, right? Your opponents. Basically, it's figuring out. There's still teams that are ahead of you that have a worse opponent record, but they have a better, or like the Bobcats, you guys have a better opponent record, which dictates the teams that you're playing and how those other teams are. So anyway, it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah, those 3 categories are weighed equally, and it is interesting.
And just for those of us watching that maybe not high school football RPIs is your jam. If you think a lot of, especially in the NCAA basketball tournament, RPI had been kind of the Bible on how teams got into the tournament. If you were a top 50 RPI, you were getting in. And about 5 to 6 years ago, you started to see a move away from that, and you saw the rise of the FPI, which is ESPN's own. You saw KenPom, which is one of the major ones. You're starting to see these other metrics come out, and it's specifically because it really doesn't tell you a great story, and it heavily weights schedule over performance or anything else like that, or head-to-head matchups, which is always one of my least favorite phrases in all of football. Analysts that say it is, well, they may have lost, but they passed the eye test, is maybe my least favorite analysis of anything. Is like, but you lost, but no, but they passed the eye test. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah,
we could do a whole show.
I'm real fired up about the RPI and the fact that, like, for most of us, if you're just looking at it, especially from just a high school football, not everybody looks underneath the hood as much as you, of course, do, and Brandon and I. But when we think of it, is like, I think the tournament's the best example I've seen. But it really does make it a difficult way forward, and even with the redistricting and things, I think it focuses
lessens
heavily on those big metro areas.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, obviously we've got 2 teams on our schedule that are without a win, you know, heading into week 9. That really hurts our RPI. You know, West Des Moines Valley, they're, what are they, 4-4 right now?
Yeah.
4-4, and they're typically not, so that doesn't help our RPI, and those are things we have no control over. So I don't know if they need to put in a little more weight on the on each team's record, so it's not equally weighed with your opponent's record and your opponent's opponents. But a lot smarter people than me need to work on that and get things figured out. So
Brandon and I got it.
Last question on that, or thought, is you know, with the RPI, especially in Class 5A, like the lower classes, you know, 2A through 8-man, still play the districts and still go off the standings and that kind of thing. Getting away from that, the district doesn't really mean anything anymore, it seems like, especially at the Class 5A level.
No, nothing at all. They just use those groups to spit out schedules, essentially.
Because you guys are basically in a 3-way tie for second place at 3 teams at 4-4, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like I said, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, when you look at districts. So anyway, it's very interesting. We'll see how everything plays out, but of course they'll release. Did they release RPI on Saturday morning since it's week number 9 this week?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to release the playoff qualifiers as soon as late Friday night, if not Saturday morning early.
Okay, sounds good. We'll be on the lookout for that. Your opponent this Friday night is Des Moines North. We'll talk about that as Bobcat Live continues next right here on KFJB-TV.
Marshalltown's best pizza, Zeno's is the place to get delicious homemade pizza from scratch that the whole family will love. For some, it's a family tradition, and Zeno's Pizza is all about old-school family-owned pizza making. Zeno's respects tradition so much that they have had the same thin crust pizza recipe for over 70 years. There are a couple of ways to get your Zeno's Pizza. You can dine in, order online for pickup, or call 641-752-1245. Zeno's Pizza, 109 East Main Street, downtown Marshalltown.
Welcome back in on Bobcat Live. Zeno's in downtown Marshalltown. Invite you to stop in and enjoy pizza and be with us here at Bobcat Live. We'll be here back next Thursday at 6 o'clock here on Bobcat Live on KFJB-TV. Well, joined by head coach Adam Goodvin as you prepare for week number 9 against the Des Moines North Polar Bears. Both teams standing at a mark of 4-4 on the regular season. Both of these teams averaging over 200 yards a game and rushing. It's who wants it more on the ground in this one at Silken Lake.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you've got to be able to run the ball effectively to be successful and put yourself in a position to win games. And like you said, they rarely pass, so it'll be a fun night.
This was a game last year where they had a couple of big runs by a senior who's no longer there. But you know, on your side of things, you guys rushed the ball extremely effectively. 386 rushing yards, 171 passing yards in that game. Is it kind of the same recipe for success here on Friday night as you had last year?
We want to keep the defenses honest. You know, we want to be successful on the ground and suck them up, and then be, you know, when we're able to do that, we can be successful through the air too. So we want to be very effective with both aspects of our offense, without a doubt.
Des Moines North is coming off a loss. They were on the road at Atumwa last week, and the final score not quite as indicative of how that game really played out. 32-20 was the final score, but it was a one-score game with about 5-6 minutes. But Ottumwa scored late, and then they tried a hook and ladder play there at the end. They went to the air, and Ottumwa got it back. They fumbled it away, and then Ottumwa scored right after that to give themselves a couple-score lead. But it seems like North, all season long, they battled against Roosevelt. That one kind of came down to the end. They lost that game. They've been tough this year.
Yeah, they were a second-half team last week. They were down 19-8 at half, and they went up 8-0 to start the game, and they didn't quit. They showed fight the whole game, and it was a hard-nosed, tough football game, and like you said, it was a 5-point game there with under a minute to go, and they were kind of desperate and tried that trick play, and ended up losing by 2 scores, but it was a lot closer than that.
They remind me. I mean, they've got kind of like I don't know. Air Force doesn't do the triple option as much as they used to, but they still do it. It's kind of like an academy school with that triple option, or Georgia Tech back in the day.
Yeah,
that kind of thing too with their offense. So it is really challenging because there's a lot of moving parts. They would fake a handoff and give it to a fullback and do a lot of different things.
Yeah, those schools definitely would. North seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
They'll run off tackle and blast and their fullback dive and trap and all that, but there's not a lot of pre-snap motion movement like that, and they line up and go. They'll run toss. They've got some athletes that they are obviously comfortable with and have had some success this year. So. They haven't changed a whole lot either scheme-wise, so what we see is what we're going to get tomorrow.
Is that just staying at home defensively?
Yeah, it's definitely identifying where their athletes are pre-snap, and then once the ball snap, flying and making plays.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things they've really gone and struggled since their win against Lincoln, and actually at a level, Lincoln and North kind of remind me of each other. Both are pretty run heavy, and we did a good job against Lincoln of forcing them to have to throw the ball some where they're not that comfortable. Is that still Coach Furch and your focus this week?
Yeah, if we can get to that means something really good has happened for us, because they truly do not really rely on the pass whatsoever. They've got a freshman kid out there at wide receiver who's got some talent, but at the end of the day, he's a ninth grader. But again, it's going to come down to stuff in the run all night.
One thing that I was thinking of, C. Dalen there, and I know preseason he's sat up here saying he wanted 1,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. Will you promise him right now that he can call his number as long as it takes to get to 1,000 yards rushing? It's on video. We want to make sure that
I'm not going to promise him that, but if everything goes to plan, it might just naturally work out for itself. So,
well, I mean, you ran for over 300 yards last year in this game, so that would help. Exactly. That would certainly help. Yeah, somebody's got to get those carries, right? Yep. Ace Holmes, we've continued to see him just all season long be extremely effective, either at linebacker or running back. He ran for 178 yards last week, couple touchdowns. He had one long run. I forget what it was, but it was 60, 70-yard run for sure. Got you down there into the red zone and were able to punch it in. His effectiveness on the ground, have you seen anybody with his physicality? Have you, since you've been here at Marshalltown, with just the way he runs, kind of angry out there?
Not as consistent as he is. You wouldn't know, but he went into the game last week pretty beat up from the week before, and just his toughness and his mentality, and how consistent he is with everything he does is remarkable. And again, I know I've said it every single week, but we're very fortunate that we've got him, and he brings a great leadership and talent to our team that a lot of our guys really look up to and can feed off of.
Tate Ring also got his 3rd touchdown of the season. Have you seen him really kind of continue to grow in his just like vision out there and that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a kid that came in at the beginning of the year playing a half of football, I think, his entire life. He got injured last year, and he's a smart kid. He's a great athlete, and he just, it's really fun to watch him learn and progress every single day. And where he's at right now, we're very happy with, and again, very happy with his work, and we're excited to see where he's going to be next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One thing that we've seen seen with emergence of Tate. Of course, we take selfish credit, all 3 of those touchdowns after he was here on the coach's show. So we'll take credit for that.
Always turning everything into him.
But the other thing that we see, looking back, as we kind of walk through just where the season has, and in Ames, it was very clear by the fourth quarter we were just kind of gassed. A lot of kids going, playing both sides of the football. But it seems that the years progress, getting a couple kids back, Drake Capayu playing a lot more in that defensive backfield. We're seeing Ace Holmes at points where he's been a little bit beat up. So Tate takes the offensive side, and he's just playing linebacker. Seeing Trayshawn out there, he was starting on both sides of the field. Now with Drake starting a lot in that back four, he doesn't have to play both ways. Where have you seen the growth? It seems like more people are a part of the two deeps here.
Yeah, and I think that's just credit to the progress that each kid has made. Every single day we talk about it all the time, and they've taken ownership. In their own progress, and they're being coachable, and they're pushing their teammates and things like that, and that's led us to where we're at right now. I mean, we've got a lot of guys that we feel comfortable throwing out there at a lot of different positions, and they're playing well right now.
I've always felt that you learn more from losing than you do winning, and you guys have. You lost early, and now you've put 3 wins together, an opportunity to get those 4 wins. Have you been impressed with how the team has dealt with adversity, not only losses, but also losses of, players like now Christensen and Jackson Bowie to injuries and stuff like that, and just how you're able to continually respond?
Yeah, they're a resilient bunch of kids. It's tough. It's tough for 16, 17, 18-year-olds to fight through that. That's a lot of tough things, thrown our way. A lot of close losses. Obviously, like you said, some injuries, things like that. But, we talk a lot about, how much time and effort that they've put into this, not only for themselves but for their teammates and all this stuff in the off season, and don't take any moment for granted. And, you only get so many opportunities with this group of guys to go out there and compete in this game. And I think they really understand that, and we're seeing that on Friday nights.
Have you
Thursday?
Have you kind of reflected with the team, like how far they've come since week 1?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I don't think we started too low. I mean, we were fighting back there in the second half, but, being able to overcome that and play complete football games is just part of the process, and they picked up on it and learned that fairly quickly, and they realized that. We talk about it.
Yeah.
And as we are walking into this final week, the first time we had you on preseason, where has the team grown the most, in your opinion?
I'm going to go back to just being consistent with everything they do. It's a grind. We're waking up at 6:15 on Mondays and Wednesdays for weights. If you're not in Coach Mann's PE class, we've got the same schedule. Every single week almost, except last week. We had to switch some things up, but it's very repetitive, and being able to stay focused and keep that solid mindset, and never forgetting our vision and our goals that we've set for ourselves at the beginning of the year is huge. Because at the moment you forget your vision and your goals is when failure happens, and they've done a solid job of understanding that.
And as you're talking about reaching those goals, when you were setting out, be it off-season workouts, coming into camp, have you been able to grab a hold of those corporate goals, those big team goals that the team kind of came about with going into camp with?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've set so many goals, both individually and team. I mean, we're getting there. Again, I think each and every single kid individually has learned so much and can take away so much from this season once it's all said and done. And, I think our coaching staff as well, we've learned a ton. And it's been a very productive season all around.
Well, it is a kickoff at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Pre-game show starts at 6, and you can watch the game between the Polar Bears and the Marshalltown Bobcats coming up tomorrow night. Coach, should be a fun one. Week number 9, and, the old cliche, the season has flown by.
It's unbelievable. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, week number 9 tomorrow night. Hey, thanks for the time as always, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Head coach Adam Goodvin with us. When we come back, we'll talk more football on the way. We'll talk a little wide receiver action with Marshalltown Bobcat football next on Bobcat Live right here on KFJB-TV.
Marshalltown knows competition. We started forging trowels in 1890 and evolved into manufacturing tools for masonry, drywall, concrete, flooring, tile, paint, and more. Today, we're still going strong. Marshalltown strong. As a worldwide leader in manufacturing, we crush the competition. We believe in our community and are proud to support Bobcat Athletics.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines. How can you help Marshalltown High School and enjoy a mouth-watering burger at the same time? By ordering the Bobcat Burger at Legends American Grill. 2 quarter-pound patties with crisp bacon strips, sautéed onions, and melted American cheddar, jack, and Swiss cheeses on top of fresh shredded lettuce on a toasted bun. It's absolutely delicious. $1 from every Bobcat Burger sold is donated by Legends to Marshalltown High School activities. So, enjoy a Bobcat Burger and help MHS. The Bobcat Burger, another exclusive from Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
The equity in your home is power. Power to remodel your home. Take a memorable vacation. Add a deck or patio. Lennox Employees Credit Union can help you unleash the financial power you possess with a home equity loan. Consolidate debt, fund a student loan, or pay for a wedding. Home equity loans are as low as 3.74% for a 5-year fixed rate loan. The loan process is easy. See Lennox Employees Credit Union, 1004 East Main Street in Marshalltown. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender, online at LennoxECU.com. We're
back at Zeno's in downtown Marshalltown, Bobcat Live. Great to have a great crowd out here tonight. And, of course, tomorrow night, our football broadcast, week number 9 of the high school football season. Pregame show at 6 o'clock as kickoff is at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow night, we are going to give away that 55-inch Samsung Smart TV thanks to Pence Appliance and TV. Just head to our website, 1230kfjb.com, to final seconds to sign up and try to win that TV, as we'll give that one away tomorrow night, as we'd like to thank Pence Appliance and TV for helping us kick off our first year of streaming Bobcat games here on KFJB-TV. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, 1230kfjb.com. Thanks for joining us all season long. I'm Brandon Lewis, Dylan Dose alongside me. Our favorite segment, Dylan, what's my wife Krista eating? Do you have an update on that?
Here it's a special and add the black olives. That's what was said by Deegan, and I assume that's accurate.
Yeah.
She is so angry right now, but it is my favorite game.
It is
What is Krista eating?
That is our favorite segment of the night. All right, we'll get down to business. Trayshawn Brooks is with us here, as well as Coach Christensen. Coach, this wide receiver crew has gone through a little bit of adversity, and, of course, I know you, close with Niall Christensen, obviously, and when you saw, when he went down for the season, what was that feeling like for you?
It's kind of tough to explain in a family atmosphere exactly what was going through my head when that happened, but obviously it definitely, impacted, Niall as a person. It was tough to see him go through that again after, tearing his ACL last season as well. To have that happen again to anybody is tough, let alone your own son.
Yeah.
To have it happen this year with guys like Trey and Corey and James Reed out there, for the team, we were able to soften the blow a little bit. Those guys are all guys that we knew we were going to count on coming into the season, and they've all performed remarkably well for us.
Yeah, they really have really stepped up. We've seen the Bobcats with some other injuries, like namely a tight end to Jackson Bowie, and so that's kind of changed up your offensive philosophy and moved guys into some other spots. Corey Smith, like you mentioned, James Reed, Trayshawn Brooks. We've seen Nick Rebick kind of in that wingback / wide receiver spot in the slot. And they've really stepped up and delivered. What's that say about them individually to be able to collectively put aside maybe where they're comfortable playing and branch out and really help the team overall?
Yeah, it's really taken all 11 from the guys to be successful. Guys like Nick Rebick and Caleb Kusera, like you mentioned. When Niall went down, we were looking for somebody that could fill in that role as a slot receiver. And those two, took on the challenge and, took those extra reps in practice. To kind of learn an extra position, and they're able to play both the 3-back, the 4-back, and the A receiver spot for us, which is pretty great. But it's really taken all 11. Our offensive line has done an awesome job, giving Dalen the time to project the ball down the field to guys like Trey and Corey, and it's been great to see them all come together and persevere through these injuries.
Dylan and I were talking before the season started, and we know that, Dalen going into his junior year of being at the helm at the quarterback spot would provide more consistency and, the ability for wide receivers and tight ends to get more involved in the game. And that's been true. Last year your leading receiver was Gainen Williams. He had 14 receptions. Trayshawn's already up to 20 receptions on the season. He had a big week last week, 2 receptions, 65 yards, and a couple touchdowns. And so it was a really good game. And so the passing game and the ability to keep improving on that, have you been happy with how that's kind of come along as the season has been growing?
Absolutely. Last year is when I really first got to know Trey and Corey and Dalen, and seeing them become more than just athletes. Trey and Corey this year being able to become receivers, not just athletes out there running around, but getting into out of their breaks, doing wide receiver technical things, catching the ball well, and just watching Dalen become a complete quarterback this year has been pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One of the things that we saw, especially in the Jefferson game and actually preceding games, is the fun stuff, catching the passes, being able to open up the offense. But what I've seen from Trayshawn, from across the board, Corey Smith, is the blocking provided by your wide receivers really has allowed that running game to go to the next level. How important is the dirty stuff, the blocking for your group of guys?
Yeah, it's huge. We preach that in the preseason. No block, no rock. We're not going to be able to open up the passing game unless we're able to move the ball on the ground, and that takes all 11 guys. We were either acting out a fake, getting an outside release, taking care of that cornerback and safety. When Trey's running a deep route, you got to keep an eye on him, and that's going to open up some holes for our guys inside. I think Corey does an awesome job of sticking his nose in there and rooting out cornerbacks or going and digging out a linebacker and turning those 5-6 yard gains into big chunk plays that we've seen this year.
And Trayshawn, we've been talking to Coach quite a bit, but he's talked a lot about you. And one of the things, whenever we see it, whenever I see one-on-one coverage, a guy just manned up right across from you, one thing that I always know is there's no way one person is going to be able to guard you. So when you look across the field and you see just one corner there, what's going on in your mind?
When I see that, it's just joy. Like, I got Dalen. I know he can get the ball to me, no matter where I'm at. Like, and I can rely on our line. They can block for us good. Dalen has time to get it to me, and when I see that, the coaches believe in me to go get the ball and go up and get it.
And it's been fun to watch that athleticism on the outside. We haven't had that level of being tight end heavy the last couple years with Gannon and Carson. Now seeing that a really exciting player on the outside. I will tell you may not have seen this. We did we did the preseason game, and we talked to Nick Lucas after the game about your first touchdown catch in the corner, and it was as if he had caught it. He was so excited for you. I had never seen such a big smile, but it's been a real joy to watch you and see your growth in that blocking side as well.
Yeah.
You know, how much do you guys, I hear a lot about timing and things like that, and so when you work with your quarterback, but not just your quarterback, do you have to work on timing with offensive line when they're blocking and knowing that, maybe there's a release if there's a wide receiver screen or something like that? I mean, how much do you guys have to communicate to know timing on plays?
Yeah, Christensen talks to me about this all the time. Like timing off the ball. He tells me how much time I need to go into my route and like how much time Dalen needs, and just my release. If my release is good, then the ball will be there. And he just tells me the time has to be perfect, like every time. It has to be consistent.
What do you think about the junior class that you're in? I mean, obviously it's you and Caleb Kusero. We've been impressed. He's made some really phenomenal plays on the defensive side. Your quarterback in Dalen Houston, Tate Ring, a junior. It's a really good group of junior guys, isn't it?
Yeah, we have a lot of athletes. All the juniors, I'd say we're all athletic. Anyone that goes in, they can do something for us. We're a really good class. I feel like that we really develop really good. We learn really good, and we're just consistent with our work ethic and everything.
Tomorrow night is senior night for the Bobcats. How instrumental has this senior class been to you and your game or your development, or just kind of building a good culture in the Marshalltown Bobcat football program?
The seniors to us younger, like lower classmen, are just like big brothers to us. They preach to us every time, before every game, every practice. Even the seniors want us to be consistent. They keep us in check. They keep everyone in check. No matter what, the seniors are positive. If it's a bad practice, they let us know. Like, they're just really good with us. They're like older brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things is, as you talk about that, when we've talked with coaches about the team as general, when we've talked to the seniors, they talk about the relationships they have with other players being as instrumental as anything they do on the field, just being one as in friendship. How has friendships on the team and that unity on the team help you succeed on the field?
Like when I first moved here, I barely knew anyone. Dalen was like the only person I knew, and I was like, I don't know if I can play because I don't have a connection with anyone. And if you have a connection, it's just like better. You get in the zone and everyone just works better together. Like if one person's playing good, we all play good. If one person's down, they bring us all down. It's all a one-team sport.
And you came from Ames, and you had no problem putting on the red and blue?
Yeah, no, I had no problem with that.
We're happy you did. We're happy you did.
Yeah, that's for sure. Coach Christensen, tell me a little bit about how you feel about this special senior class.
This is a class that I coached them all the way back down in MFL in the third grade season, and I've just watched them grow and progress as men as well as football players and all their other sports. They truly are a special class. They'll definitely be missed. We certainly hope that they've passed on a lot of those leadership traits to the junior class and sophomore class to help keep this culture coming for the future. And it'll be sad to see them go, but they've had a huge impact that'll last here for a long time.
Yeah, that's for sure. Coach Christensen, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Drayshawn, good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
If you have a touchdown catch in the game, Dylan will take full credit for
yes, I
for
will.
You getting
It's called the Coach's Show bump.
Hey, when we come back, we will talk to Dalen Houston as well as Jasic Lee from Marshalltown Bobcat football program as Bobcat Live from Zeno's in downtown Marshalltown continues next right here on KFJB-TV.
Businesses are the backbone of our community. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce reminds you that when you shop locally, you are benefiting members of our community and adding to our local community overall. You'll find local business owners are generally more knowledgeable, provide better service, and even know their customers by name. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce exists to be an advocate for our business community. Membership in the Chamber benefits your business and adds to the strength of our advocacy efforts. For more information on shopping locally and Chamber membership, go to marshalltown.org.
In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? Call on someone who's invested in your success. Zach Wall, your Marshalltown Edward Jones financial advisor, is here to help you. He will work to build a complete picture of your financial life, including your unique goals and passions, so he can help you achieve what's most important to you. Call Zach Wall at 641-752-3017 to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress has your mattress. Every firmness, comfort, and support level, each at a great price. Make the investment today for a good night's sleep for years to come. McGregor's also has quality furniture for every room in your home. Beautiful, comfortable sofas, recliners, dinette sets, and office furniture to help you work and relax in comfort and style. McGregor's Furniture is proud to bring you quality furniture and great service, and they are proud to support Bobcat Athletics. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, open 7 days a week.
Your home is the one place where everything should be perfect, including your air. Capon & Brown helps you achieve the perfect air you deserve with reliable, groundbreaking, award-winning Lennox products. Call Capon & Brown to hear more about how they can help you feel healthier and happier in your home. It doesn't get any more perfect than that. Call them today at 641-753-3563 or visit them online at caponandbrowninc.com. Your local premier Lennox dealer, where quality has been a promise for 48 years.
Trilogy Embers, independent living for active seniors.
This is your invitation. Hi, this is Lindsay, Director of the Embers Retirement Community, inviting you to tour the Embers. While you are here, I'll show you the studio, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, and all of our amenities. We will socially distance for your safety, and I'll show and share with you all the Embers has to offer. Call me to schedule a tour at 641-754-7000. Embers Retirement Community, 1211 West State Street in Marshalltown.
Welcome back to Bobcat Live here on KFJB-TV. We're at Zeno's, a family tradition at Marshalltown for over 70 years. Thanks to the great crowd joining us here tonight as Dalen Houston, starting quarterback for the Marshalltown Bobcats. Jayzik Lee is also here as well, starting wingback for the Marshalltown Bobcats. Dalen, I'll start with you. Over the past couple of weeks, you guys have really started to roll up the offensive numbers, especially on the ground, and the ground attack has really come on strong. You're up to now 580 rushing yards and 874 passing yards on the season. But it was last week. It was all on the ground for the most part. You had a couple of big plays through the air, but as far as the ground game goes, how happy have you been? Has that progressed for your part of the game?
I've always had a ground game in my game. When I played MFL, I used to be a running back, so I'm always used to seeing a hole and hitting it as hard as I can and just running until I get taken down.
And as you played, back to your MFL days, did you know that, hey, I'm going to be a standout for the Marshalltown Bobcats? Is that like what you dreamed of, you hoped, and that kind of thing?
Most definitely. I was always getting touchdowns and stuff. I'm going to be a big player one day.
That's awesome. Jayzik, did you play MFL?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you've recently, when did you start?
Junior year.
Junior year, that's what I thought. Okay, so that transition for you, how's that been, kind of coming on and being able to now work yourself into the starting lineup?
It was just a big part of me just sitting back and taking notes and just watching what I need to do for my assignments. So
what kind of spurred you to go out for football?
My friends really just convinced me to go out.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're happy you made the decision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You're in your senior year. How fun has this been for you?
It's really fun. I'm really happy that I went out.
So one of the things Brandon and I talk about is your stats always seem to have maximum impact. It seems it may not be every week, or maybe it's every other. We just talked about this on a broadcast. It seems like your name gets brought up at big moments. It'd be a big catch for a first down, maybe a jet sweep or something. How do you go about making the amount of touches you have the maximum impact?
I just try and put in 100% effort for every play, and I just try and do my assignment right.
And then how do you feel about having the best first name on the football team?
I don't know.
It's one of my favorite names to say. It's just a great name.
It is a good name. It is a good name. We like it too. The other thing is, I noticed there's a whole J theme in your family because I coach your brothers on our soccer team, and Jerison Jacoby, and then there's Jazik. So your family really loves the J names, huh?
Yeah.
But your dad's name is not a J, right?
No, it's Brett.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So not a J. All right.
What we know is B's names that start with B's aren't very good, so we get off of that anytime.
Dalen, your junior year, you set out some really high expectations for yourself. As far as Dylan mentioned it earlier, 1,000 passing, 1,000 rushing. I know you were kind of bumped up week number 1, and you've battled some lower leg injuries throughout the season. Not to say that hampered you anything, but have you been still happy with the success that you've been on the field, even though maybe those individual numbers haven't been reached?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Big improvement from last year. Looking to hit that goal next year for sure. Just keep working at it.
You always get those butterflies when you go for games, right? But are they not quite as much as they were last year? I mean, as far as your nerves and feeling comfortable and that you've got the helm out there of the offense?
Yeah, most definitely. Last year I was so nervous. it was just I couldn't believe how nervous I was.
Yeah.
This year, I just kind of go out and do my thing.
Yeah, it was apparent the first snap under center in game 1 this year that it felt like like you were driving. You weren't in the back seat. You were driving the car, and you knew exactly what you wanted to do. One of the things, lists you at 6'4". I wouldn't be surprised. Are you 6'4" or are you 6'5"?
I'm 6'4".
Okay, you're a legit 6'4". One thing that really impressed me with you running the football is how low you get your pad level when you get to cornerbacks. Cornerbacks that are standing at 5'10", you get lower than them. Does that just come natural, or is that through repetition? How do you get that leverage at being 6'4", being a tall kid?
It goes back to MFL again. I was always kind of taller, so the coaches would always tell me lower men wins, and I just took that to the next level.
Yeah, I don't like that being 5'7", that if 6'4" guys get that memo, we have no chance of doing anything. You had the big touchdown pass to Trayshawn last week on the big play over 50 yards. And then you've also had some incredible touchdown runs, the one at Roosevelt where you went Superman at the 5-yard line. I definitely shared that with my dad. I was like, you got to watch this thing. But what's more enjoyable for you, score the touchdown on the Superman dive or hooking up with one of your friends on a 50-yard bomb?
I like to see my friends get touchdowns. It's just like, it's a good feeling. Like, dang, I got him the ball, and he's happy, I'm happy. It's a win-win.
That's right quarterback answer.
I'm apologizing for Dylan because it's Dylan turning into how his height is affecting his personal life. And that was a basketball question, by the way, because he wanted to know what you're going to be for basketball, 6'4", 6'5". But,
that's right.
Anyway, that is still down the road. As we look here at week number 9, this is a game last year where you guys got into kind of a track meet. You got into the 60s last year, scoring-wise. I'm sure first one to 63 like last year will definitely win this game. But what do you know you need to do offensively to be successful against the Polar Bears?
Just drive the ball, play as hard as we can, get into the end zone as many times as we can, win the ball game.
Jazik, what's your key to victory tomorrow night against the Polar Bears?
It's just all about effort and just who wants it more. Communication's a big part, and it just comes down to whoever wants it more.
Yeah.
When we look at this and looking at this final game, Jazik, as you look back, Dalen, as you look back, what is the goal that you've been able to accomplish as a team that means the most to you this year?
For me, I feel like week 1, we were all kind of like separate people. And now coming into week 9, I feel like we're more of a team. We're all together. We can communicate better. Just a better feeling out there.
Well, at the beginning of the season, it seemed like we were a second-half team, and I think we turned that around halfway through, and we were just putting in more effort and winning more games.
You know, as you continue, both of you guys, Jacek being a senior and Dalen being a junior, it takes time to become a team and figure out your identity, right? I mean, it's not an overnight process. Yeah. It's something that you can't force, right?
Yeah.
So when did you think it was kind of the turning point? Jacek kind of mentioned, early on you kind of figured it out. Dylan and I talked. We thought the Valley game where you guys really, went out there and showed that you can hang with a team that, is like Valley and make that thing a real close competitive game.
Yeah, definitely after Fort Dodge, the team had like a really big talk in our group chat. We were like, this got to change. Something has to change. We can't keep coming out in the second half and playing how we play.
Yeah.
First half, we just got to come out and play like we do in the second half to win ball games, and that really changed.
Yeah, Jacek, what's next after football this year?
Track and field.
Okay, good deal. Basketball? No. Dylan, though, basketball?
Yep, basketball.
Okay. Do you do track and field as well?
I'm going to this year.
Okay, all right. Probably the high jump or something?
I don't know, maybe.
You got some pretty good ups, don't you?
Yeah.
I am holding in all my basketball questions. Basketball is my absolute favorite sport. I'm so excited for this season, but we're going to keep those for a later date.
We will, yeah. We'll have plenty to talk about basketball next month. All right, Dalen Houston, Jacek Lee, thanks, guys, for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to talk girls cross country for Marshalltown Bobcat Athletics coming up next. This is Bobcat Live from Zeno's in downtown Marshalltown on KFJB-TV.
Choose Marshalltown Community College for your education.
A quality education.
Hands-on career training.
Convenient on-campus living.
One-on-one attention from my instructors.
Earning my AA degree and transferring to university, all while saving money.
Why was MCC the right choice for me? The great student activities and the friends I met.
2 convenient locations and the option to take online classes.
The right choice is MCC.
You're an empty nester closing in on that retirement property. Chances are your plans didn't include mom moving in, but life happens and you do the right thing. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement means caring for yourself and a loved one, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
You should never have to wait after ordering new appliances. At Penn's Appliance, you wouldn't. With an incredible selection in stock and ready to install today. Our friendly team is here to help you pick the perfect set to match your style. And let our professional technicians install and set up your new appliances, often delivering the very next day. Stop in today, see all the new features, and find your new look at Penn's Appliance. For sales and service of everything appliance, go see the Pence team.
Since 1967, Jensen Ford Lincoln has served generations of families around central Iowa. Quality vehicles, professional service, knowledge of our product, that's a part of Jensen. But what's more important to us is a trust that is passed down from every generation. Jensen Ford Lincoln wants to serve your family. We want to be there for your first car, we want to be there for your family SUV, and we want to see you drive away in the Mustang you always dreamed of. At Jensen, we want to be here for you now and every mile along the way.
Bobcat Live from Zeno's in Marshalltown. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button as well on Facebook, Twitter, and 1230kfjb.com. I think we'll start down at the end. Anessa Morrison as well as Millie Heitman and head coach for girls cross country, Stacy O'Hare. Boy, Stacy, you have been very busy over the past week and a half. You had state qualifying, and then you had the Iowa Alliance Conference, all at home. And I'm sure that was kind of nice to be able to run on a familiar track, but a very busy week and a half for you here.
Yeah, it has been. We came off the East meet and then just got right back into it for our conference meet and then districts. But it's always nice to be able to run at home. We've had that opportunity for the last couple of years. We have one of the best courses, I feel like, in the state.
Mm-hmm.
Our girls are, they have it pretty much memorized. So,
is that something you kind of have to put in a word or a preference or something to try to be able to host the sites?
Yeah, I think Ryan does a nice job of. I think he just has to let him know that we want to be one of the sites, and from our history, I think it's kind of a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you have that a little bit of a home field, I guess you could say, or home course advantage, that definitely pays off. So 7th out of 8 teams had state qualifying yesterday on Wednesday. Millie finished in 40th place at 21 minutes and 58 seconds for a 5K, right?
Yep.
And that's a pretty good time.
Yeah. I couldn't be more proud of her.
Yeah.
She ran a great conference meet. She ran a 21:53 and then came back at districts and ran, essentially about the same time. She's running about as well as any freshman I've had, so I look forward to what she can do for us in the future. Her times have just continued to improve, and I think she's learned a lot, I think, since day one, and will continue to be able to learn some more.
How challenging is that to put an underclassman out there and, not put the team on your back, but obviously, help go out there and deliver a good time?
Yeah, I mean, we started the year off. We actually talked about this yesterday at the start line. We talked how at the beginning of the year we only had one varsity runner, and it was Micah. And then now all of a sudden here we are at the end of the year, and kids have really come along, and we can put out a team and score, because we weren't doing that early on in the year. Micah gets hurt, and now your number one runner is a freshman. She's kind of the one that has to lead us. She actually had a maybe one meet where she ran by herself. So again, that's really hard for a freshman to warm up by herself. She doesn't have her teammates, but she handled it well and went out and did her job.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so Millie, how was it for you on your side of it? Was it a little nerve-wracking for you, or did you kind of just take it head on?
Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking.
How have you seen yourself improve from the beginning, like Coach mentioned, just being able to go out there and compete and put forward your best effort?
Yeah, I've seen myself improve a lot since day one. I've gotten faster my times, and yeah.
Anessa Morrison with us here. Anessa, tell us a little bit about your season and how it's gone for you.
It was going pretty good for the first half-ish, and then I ended up injuring myself halfway through, and after that I've been cheering the other girls on.
Have you been trying to work yourself back up, or?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And that's a thing too. I'm sure you, as a coach, Stacy, you have to, manage injuries and probably help put players on a track back to being able to run full strength and things like that, don't you?
Yeah, we've had a bit of injuries. I mean, it seems like the last couple of years we've had a lot of injuries. It probably doesn't sound like a lot when you have one or two girls hurt, but when you only have 10 to 12 kids out, when one or two of them go down, it's a huge part of your team. And it seems like it's some of our girls that put a little extra time in through the summer, and then now they're the ones that are getting injured.
First year of the Iowa Alliance Conference. What's your assessment?
I like it. It's more competitive for us. It's a little bit smaller. I just think it will give us an opportunity to keep succeeding, and we'll see that in our team races. Unlike where before I thought, you just didn't see it in the team race because of the competition that we were up against.
I thought it was interesting too. You're running a north and south too, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of a bigger, but we broke it down into our north and south. I know Ryan asked us what our opinion was after the race on that. I haven't quite figured it out whether I like that or not, or whether we do it all together or just continue to break it down into north and south for our scoring.
Yeah, kind of interesting how that has panned out. But I'm sure, like anything, you kind of learn the first year, and then you maybe course correct as you go on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that people have opinions on it, and they're going to share.
Wait, people have opinions?
They do, unfortunately.
Overall, I know you mentioned kind of just on your season, some bumps and bruises here and there, but happy with the growth and things like that?
I'm really happy with the way the kids have been forming, especially in the last few weeks. We've come a long way. I think a lot of people think of cross country as sometimes an individual sport. I look at it as more of a team sport, and so my goal is for always for us to have a team out there. That means 5 runners, so we can score 5. We can always run 7. But as the year went on, we had kids that stepped up and ran, and we were able to score as a team. We actually had a meet where we won it. I'll say we won, but unfortunately we got disqualified, and there's some of the things that were up for questionable, but I'll take that any day of the week. So really proud of how they've improved throughout the season.
Millie, where have you noticed that you've grown a lot in your first year here on the varsity side?
Just like as a team, like we've grown a lot, and then like myself, I've grown in like running, and my form's improved a lot since day one.
Yeah. So, for maybe somebody not familiar with cross country, your form when you run, what do you mean by that when you say that?
Not crossing my arms across my chest like I usually do.
Okay. All right. So, just kind of your style you run. How do you work on that? Because I'm sure, people break down your baseball swing and things like that. I'm sure there's a good running style too.
Yeah, we do a lot of form runs before we take off and do our workout, so it kind of slows you down and you just kind of go through the movements, and also just hollering at her a lot throughout practice and throughout meets. I probably pick on her the most, but that's usually a good thing. That means you have a lot of potential, and I know you can do it. So, yeah. But yeah, just kind of reminders. It's just a habit that kids have, and then you have to break them of that. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Anessa, how much of, as you've watched the team and being cheering on, just your excitement in cross country overall, how high are you on cross country and excited for next season as well?
This year, you can definitely see us grow, team-wise. We've gotten closer as a team. We've trusted each other more throughout the season, so it's kind of nice to end that way altogether. So yeah, I'm excited for next year to continue that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I saw the list of who's being zombies at the 5K, and I saw the boys cross country team. Are you going to be out there as well?
We are. You'll see a couple of the girls as zombies. The first year that we did it, I was a zombie, so I think I might sit back and just watch this year and not be a zombie. So.
My wife and my stepson Deegan and I are going to run, and then Collins, my stepdaughter, and my mom are going to be zombies out there as well at Grimes.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So if you have the opportunity to do it, it's like I said, it is a lot of fun.
It's in the dark.
Yep.
There's zombies running after you. Got to get away. Are these high-bred zombies, fast zombies, or do you have some slow zombies, or is it a mix?
I think it's a mix.
Okay.
It depends on how the zombie's feeling at the moment.
Yeah, that is for sure. Hey, thanks for coming on. It's been great to have you on Bobcat Live this fall and be able to talk a little bit more about girls cross country. So keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, ladies, for coming in here as well. Thanks. Yep, you're welcome.
Yeah, so quiet.
They are so quiet. Yeah, we'll get them warmed up to the mic. Millie Heitman and Anessa Morrison with us here, as well as Stacy O'Hare, head coach for girls cross country. Thanks for joining us here on Bobcat Live. We'll talk to you tomorrow night from Leonard Cole Field. Pregame at 6, kickoff at 7 for Bobcat football as they take on the Polar Bears of Des Moines North, as the Bobcats look to get over the 500 mark and improve to 5-4 to round out the regular season schedule. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. I'm Brandon Lewis for Dylan Doze, our producer as well, Todd Steinkamp, and intern Zach on the applause sign. This is Bobcat Live at KFJB-TV.